Hello, children. Welcome to English class. As you can see here, on the top there is a picture of the raindrops falling on the roof of a house, and you can also see some pictures of trees. Now we are going to study the poem Rain on the Roof. It has been taken from class 9 from the book Beehive. Introduction to the poem first. From the title of the poem, Rain on the Roof, we can make out that the poem is about the rain. The poet is telling us about the memories he has of the rain, the sound of the raindrops falling on the roof of his house brings back sweet memories of the past. Rain on the Roof summary. The poem Rain on the Roof talks about the poet's varied reactions to the sound of raindrops falling on the roof of his house. He says that the raindrops at night are like tears shed by the sad, dark night. So he has compared here the raindrops with the tears from the eyes of sad, dark night. He loves to lie in bed and hear rain falling on the roof of his room because it gets back sweet memories of the past. He says that the sound of the raindrops help him fall asleep and gives him sweet dreams. He has memories of his loving mother who would put them to sleep. Now we are moving towards the stanza wise explanation of the poem. The first stanza is like this: when the humid shadows hover over all the starry spheres, and the melancholy darkness gently weeps in rainy tears. What a bliss to press the pillow of a cottage chamber bed and lie listening to the patter of the soft rain overhead. So, as the first stanza is there, some words you can see: humid. Humid means something which is full of moisture. And shadows here, they refer to the moisture laden clouds. Clouds which are filled with moisture and they cast a shadow on the earth. So that's why it has been written humid shadows. Hover means move around something. Melancholy means sad. Bliss means happiness. And patter, here is the sound of raindrops falling on the roof. I hope you understand the meanings. And one more is there, cottage chamber, which means the bedroom. Now we move to the explanation of the first stanza. If the meanings are clear to you, you will be able to understand the explanation easily. The poet is saying that when the humid shadows hover over, okay, so over the earth here means humid shadows means the dark clouds which are full of water, moisture. The poet is saying that when the sky is full of these clouds which are moisture laden, are full of water and are about to bring rain, when such clouds hover around in the sky over all the starry spheres. Starry sphere means the sky at night, which is full of stars. At that time, huge clouds which are full of moisture, they move around in the sky, and the sad darkness of the night is wiped off by the raindrops, which seem like tears falling from the sky. The poet is comparing raindrops to tears, and he says that the dark sky, which seems to be very sad, it appears as if it is crying, and the raindrops are the tears shed by it. He adds that it's like a blessing to lie on the bed in his room. So cottage chamber is his bedroom, and he listens the sound made by raindrops while falling on the roof. So this was the explanation of the first stanza. Now we can see that one is enjoying the sleep and having fancy dreams, okay, beautiful dreams about flowers. So this was about the first stanza. Now we are moving towards the literary devices and the rhyme scheme of the poem. As you see the first stanza, the rhyme scheme of the first stanza or the poem is A B C B D E F E, and the literary devices used are alliteration. As you are familiar with this term alliteration earlier, the repetition of a consonant sound in two or more consecutive words. Humid hover. So her sound is repeated here, H sound. Starry spares. Again, S sound is repeated. Press pillow. P sound, or we can say per sound, is repeated here. Lie listening. L sound, L sound is repeated, and that's why this is called alliteration. Onomatopoeia, the use of sound words to create a dramatic effect and auditory imagery. So it means that whenever we think of it, we can imagine the sound made by it. Patter sound, as we hear the patter word. Patter is the sound of the falling raindrops on the top. So patter sound is onomatopoeia here. There is another word, literary devices, personification, and then transferred epithet. Personification, treating a non-living as a living being, like darkness or night has been personified here, which is very sad. It's very sad and sheds tears in the form of raindrops. Transferred epithet, the use of an adjective with a noun when it refers to another noun. Like if we say melancholy, darkness. So melancholy means sad, darkness is the night. But for night, it has been considered to be the people, that the people feel sad and they cry. But here darkness, okay, is not melancholy, but it refers to the sad people. Second stanza, every tinkle on the shingles. Now we are moving to the second stanza, and listen carefully. First of all, listen. Okay. Every tinkle on the shingles has an echo in the heart, and 1,000 dreamy fancies into busy being start, and 1,000 recollections weave their air threads into woof as I listen to the patter of the rain upon the roof. So in this stanza, we come across some words. So we should be knowing the meaning of those. Tinkle. Tinkle means short, light ringing sound. And shingles means rectangular wooden tiles used on roofs. Echo means repeated sound. Woof is the weft, we can say, the thread woven across the loom. Patter means sound of raindrops falling on the roof. Busy being here means a human being who is very busy. And here it is referring to the poet himself. Now we move to the explanation of the second stanza. Listen carefully. The poet is expressing his feelings when he hears the raindrops falling on the rooftop of his house. He says that every tinkle on the shingles has an echo in the heart. Whenever he hears rain falling on the rooftop, the sound repeats in his heart and in his dreams. He has many different fanciful imaginations. He adds that this sound of the rain falling on the rooftop creates many new different dreams in his mind. He recollects many memories of the past which come back into his mind as dreams. And this only happens whenever he hears the sound of the rain. So he says that as he listens to the patter of the rain upon the roof, he has many new dreams in his mind, and the memories of the past come back in the form of dreams. So, this was the explanation of the second stanza. Now, let's move to the literary devices of stanza 2. Alliteration. Again, as it was in the first stanza, there is also a repetition of consonant sound in two or more consecutive words, like busy being, rain on the roof. So this is repeated sound, repeated consonant sound. There is onomatopoeia, the use of sound words to create a dramatic effect or auditory imagery, like tinkle, patter. These are the sounds made by the raindrops. And another literary device from the second stanza is personification, like treating a non-living thing as a living thing. And here recollection has been personified. Recollection is personified when the poet says that they weave dreams, means recollections weave dreams. Transferred epithet again is there, dreamy fancies, means adjective has been used for with fancies here, but refers to the people again who have dreams or who wants to enjoy fanciful dreams. Stanza 3 now. Now in memory comes my mother, as she used in years agone to regard the darling dreamers ere she left them till the dawn. Oh, I feel her fond look on me as I listen to this refrain, which is played upon the shingles by the patter of the rain. So, you people can just listen and understand that what is the meaning of this stanza by understanding some unfamiliar words first, like ere. So ere here means before. This is a poetic word. So ere I feel her, ere she left them till the dawn. So before, it means before. Dawn means daybreak, early morning. List here means listen. This is a poetic word for listen, list. And refrain is a repeated part of the song or the poem. Hear the sound of the rain. So what does the poet want to say in this stanza? You can see the stanza 3. The poet introduces his mother now. He says that he's dreaming of his mother, as he told in the previous stanza, that rain brings memories of the past. So it is memory of his loving mother, who's no more in this world, who's no longer alive. In the past, she used to love him a lot. She used to consider him a darling one, and she would let him sleep till daybreak and have sweet dreams. The poet can still feel that his mother is looking at him as he listens to the song made by raindrops falling on the rooftop of his room. So I hope that you are understanding that in the last stanza, the third stanza, the poet recollects some memories about his mother. He feels as if his mother is there with him, and the sound of the rain makes him correlate the past with his present. That is why the poet is moved by the sound of the raindrops on the shingles of his room. Whenever he hears this sound, it brings back memories of the past, and he is reminded of his mother. So we can move to the literary devices of stanza 3. Again, you can see that there is alliteration, means repetition of a consonant sound in two or more consecutive words, like memory of my mother. Memory, my mother. So it means memory of my mother. Darling dreamers. D sound is repeated here, or D sound we can say. Onomatopoeia, the use of sound words to create a dramatic effect and auditory imagery. So that is patter. This word has been used many times. Patter. Patter means sound of raindrops falling on the shingles of the roof. So these were the poetic devices from stanza 3. So I hope, children, you have understood the whole poem, the poetic devices used in it, means literary devices used in this poem, and the word meanings. Thank you.